How's it going, race fans? So, as you know, as I've been updating on the 2016 Mustang GT with the Paxton Supercharger, I've been talking about for a while doing a little brief video on my old Mustang. And as you see, there she is. I'll go over so you can get a better view of it. So, this is a 1964 and a half Mustang Convertible. It has the original V8. It's a 260 cubic inch motor, and I'll pop the hood here in a second. I'm drinking my beer as I'm talking about it. This car was actually bought by my father for my grandmother in 1966 and has been in my family ever since. I think it only had like 1,500, 2,000 miles on it when it was purchased. My grandmother drove it for probably 20, 25 years, and then my dad took it back and sat in his garage and didn't move very much. And so right now at this point I think it has about 65,000 miles, a little over 65,000 miles on it. It's automatic, power top. It's not a pony package, but the rarity of the car doesn't really matter. It's just some emblems, you know, that I'm not concerned about. But you can see the interior of it. This is the correct color, skylight blue, which is it actually changed, I think, in '66. The skylight blue became kind of a silver blue metallic. In '64, '65, the skylight was a baby blue, and that is the correct color for the car. It had a 2-barrel carburetor on it. I swapped that out. I sourced a date code correct 1964 4-barrel intake. But my plans for the car eventually is I'm going to be putting a fuel injection on it. I'm kind of tired of futzing around with the carburetor, and would like to get back to more reliability than anything else. And then the car itself, I've done disc brakes in the front for safety. You know, when you do those panic brakes, you like to know that you're going to stop in a safe direction. With those drums, you just never knew what direction you were going to go. I've done the suspension, shocks, new springs, leaf springs in the back. Has a more modern radio that allows me to run my Bluetooth, which is kind of nice because the original radio, I have the original radio. It's an old AM, but not much music on the AM radio anymore. Take a little peek at the wheels. I've added power steering to the car. I'm going to set my beer down. I've added power steering to the car, and which helps a lot because the manual steering was just absolutely painful to, you know, I started having some shoulder issues. I'm like, it's just from driving this car. So I'm going to go ahead and pop the hood here. Give you a peek at the motor so you can see that. It's got the generator on it, which was in '64, '65. They switched to an alternator. And then you can see that I have the date correct power steering. Has the RAM underneath and everything. So my dad added dual exhaust, trying to boost the power, and then I added the 4-barrel carburetor, just trying to boost power underneath it. Just, you know, people are traveling 75, 80 miles an hour on the freeway. I'm getting on a little 2-barrel carburetor, pumping out about 168 horsepower original, and it's a little scary there. So I ended up putting a 4-barrel on there just to try to boost it a little bit. And when I switch it over to fuel injection, I'll probably go back to the 2-barrel fuel injection. I think that'll be comparable. So, anyways, this is my 1964 and a half car. It's produced in June of 1964. Those of you who don't know about the reason why they're 64 and a half, they're actually dated 65, but it was an early release for the World's Fair in April of 1964, where they debuted this car. Lee Iacocca was the designer, and he wanted to make sure that the world saw the car for the first time in 1964. And you can see the 260 emblem. So, anyways, that's my '64 convertible. Thanks for watching.